Good morning, Sam from Good morning, it's Sam from Life's a Gamble, so let's take a chance. And we're here now back on the workshop. We're about to start doing some more work on the skin fittings. That is lapping them back in to make sure that they're all sealed and ready to go again. Now I've got some replacement bolts to put it together again. We'll then carry on and finish off the ones we didn't do before, and also take a look at the toilet bits that have been cleaned by a friend of mine back to the bare bronze and brass, so they can be now checked over. Anything needs to be done to them, and order some parts to replace the bits that are worn out so that we can put it all back together again and reuse it. So far on the toilet, most of the clamping bolts have actually rotted away due to age, and that's about it. Apart from that, the rest of the parts of the toilet seem to be good nick, apart from the rubber bits which need replacing, as you'd expect after 70 years of being together. They're going to be worn out, and so they'll need replacing with a service kit from Blake's, which will be done in due course when the funds allow. So in the meantime, we'll be putting the toilet to one side after cleaning the bowl up and clean the other bits up, and then that'll be sorted out, ready to be put back in the boat at a later date. But in the meantime, it's back to Seacocks and get those done. As you can see, this is a small skin fitting from Chance, broken down into its different parts. The sleeve inside the skin fitting itself in a bit of a manky condition. Mind you, after having 70 years of raw water going through it, it's liable to be a bit of a mess, but that's what we're here to do now. This is the cone for the fitting. With a hole there to let the water in, and it's turned round, it seals it off. Simple design, hasn't been improved on in over 100 years, and it's still being used to this day. Handle to turn it off and on, the same as is used today, and the only replacement bits we've had to use are a couple of these. So what we've got to do now is, we've already cleaned out the fitting from the dirt it had in it. What we've got to do now is grind in the cone again, which will have to be done with a bit of valve grinding paste and a lot of backwards and forwards movement to get it to go till it's nice, till this surface here is all the same colour from top to bottom. Then we know it's lapped in. Once that's done, it's cleaned, it's greased, and it's put back together again. What we do is to start off with the coarse grinding paste first. Put a bit of that on the surfaces of the cone. Then insert it into the skin fitting, and then move it backwards and forwards until it's clean, gets started to clean up the surfaces of the cone. So many times go clockwise, making sure the grind paste is getting well applied to the surfaces, and it's getting an even cutting motion. doing that for quite a while. Now it's on to the final grinding paste to finally finish it off the cone so it sits nicely in the base part of the seacock. And once that's done, which will be in a few minutes time, then we can clean it all out, take the grinding paste away, apply a bit of grease to the cone, put it back together again, and then that's another seacock finished. And after this one, just one more seacock of the ones which were taken out of Chance's bottom, which are all the ones for the sea toilets and the hand basins. So this is a job we can then put to one side, and when the planks are sorted out in the bottom where these came out, we can then reinstall these back where they were originally and then put them to bed. As you can see now, all nicely cleaned up, all a universal colour all the way around, ready to go back in the skin fitting again now. Just got to clean the base out, clean this out, put a bit of grease in there, then put it back together again, and then job done. Apply a liberal amount of grease to the skin fitting cone. Then making sure it fits in the bit nice and neatly. Looks like it could do a little bit more grease. There we are, sorted now. Remove the excess. Fit the plate back on the top. Insert the bolts into the base to hold the plate in place. And then carefully tighten these down until they're just finger tight on top of the plate, making sure that you got it level. A couple more turns for good measure. Make sure the cone sits in the gate valve correctly. Make sure it still moves, which it does. Just a little bit more tightening then. That's it, just a little bit tight just on the valve, and the grease will then make sure you can keep moving it. And there it is, another one done. This is one of the valves from earlier on that had no screws left, bolts left in it, which I'm now installing into it so that it can also be put to one side now that it's finished. And the parts that were needed are now installed. There we are. Make sure it still moves, which it does. Nice and smooth. May just need a bit more tensioning. There we are, sorted. Another one done. Now the final one. Hooray! We got there at last. So now it's a matter of getting couple more bolts. And make sure that these fit, which they do. Not very well fitted in there, just to see what's happening here. So I think I've got to take the plate off and make sure we can get these in the holes correctly first. Well, that fits now, right? It seems to be going there properly. It's nice and straight. Oh, that one seems to go in there as well. Seems strange that it's holding up on the plate. So the plate must be may not be in the right place exactly the first time around. So that's gone through there nicely. Yep. Right, must be the plate then slightly out of position. So let's take things apart again. We know the bolts fit in correctly. So it's now going to be a matter of taking the centre out, cleaning this up, and do it all over again. What we've got to do now is just finish cleaning this up, apply some grease, put the bolts in it, and then that'll be the final seacock, or the ones that are out of the boat already done. And so then just be a matter of getting them put to one side, carefully labelled up where they come out of, and have the outside plates remade at a local business close to myself, who will then make them up so then they'll be put back in the boat as and when.